You got to kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you got to take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
Who are you?
I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells. Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
When he starts talking about he likes all kinds of women and stuff, and he's like, well, we got to watch you, boy.
Yeah. You got their pre-versions.
That conversation was really good at setting up like what he is and how awful he is.
Who,
but like
Ernest or Hale? Or both.
Both.
I guess, yeah.
We learn about both of them a lot in that scene.
Yeah.
Welcome to Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk, and I'm joined by my co-host, Will.
Witty intro.
On this show, we explore both new and familiar movies as we attempt to analyze and interpret them, all in an effort to debase the films and ourselves.
Sorry, I didn't have a good one. I didn't have a good one.
You always catch me off guard, no matter what.
Good.
I should probably just start asking you what you're going to say so that I don't laugh as I'm doing the intro.
Laugh. That's the whole fucking point.
That's true. That is fun. It is something to look forward to every record.
Good.
So as the title of the episode says, it's never a surprise to the listener. I don't know why I treat it like one.
You put blindfolds on and start the episode.
You just download and you don't even read it. You're like, fuck it, I have to listen to this. We're doing Killers of the Flower Moon.
We are. So I don't even know where to start with this, but
there's a lot to say. Yeah.
Was this movie on your radar at all?
100%.
It was?
Yeah.
When did you start knowing it was coming out?
Years ago, when Scorsese started working on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this was Scorsese, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's directed by Martin Scorsese, and I think he's listed as one of the co-writers. Yeah, he's a co-writer on the screenplay.
I finished the movie and like immediately got up to put some pants on to come over to record this episode.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually know who wrote it.
Did you end with the drum circle scene at least?
Yes.
You got that far.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Good.
Okay, so it was Scorsese. Well, that makes a shit ton of sense. I
am shocked you didn't know that.
When I was watching the movie,
Will, he's in the movie.
Who is he in the movie?
Oh my god.
Who is he in the movie?
We'll get to it.
What the fuck?
I'll get to it in my summary.
What the fuck? Okay, but anyways, I didn't get advertisements for this film until like October.
Oh, we were seeing trailers in the film at the movies a couple of times, and I remember every time laying in the court and going, I can't wait to see this shit.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it too because like we got Leonardo DiCaprio. I quite enjoy him as an actor, not necessarily as a person. The premise seemed really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so after I asked you if it was real, and you said, yeah, basically it was.
It's based on a book, which is even more complicated than the film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Jesse Plemons is in it. And like, I think Jesse Plemons is the poor man's Leonardo DiCaprio. So having both of them in the same film is...
I wouldn't even say poor man's.
Not even more. No,
I think
Jesse
he's
Plemons
really
is actually a fantastic actor. But here's the thing is like, I can't separate him from his role in Breaking Bad.
Oh. Have you not seen enough movies with him then?
No, I've seen plenty of movies with him, but that's where I got my start.
I've gotten over it.
It cracks me up every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every single time, dude.
Have you seen Game Night?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good in that.
He's great in that. That's
he's
right.
so good in that.
He's the neighbor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's
the really awkward cop that wants to be invited over again.
Yeah.
He's so fucking good. That movie is like way better than it should be.
Oh, of course.
Those guys did Dungeons and Dragons.
They did.
That's why they rule.
Yeah,
but like that, go check out Game Night. I think I did this during the Dungeons and Dragons episode.
You did actually. You're like, hey, we don't get movies like this anymore. Yeah.
No. Those. Oh man, what a good movie.
Any plans for this evening?
No.
Perhaps a game night?
We're just going to stay in, just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Boring.
I see. I do hope you keep me in mind for any future game nights.
Well, you bet.
I've always enjoyed the camaraderie of good friends, competing in games of chance and skill.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that, but it's nice just the two of us.
3 bags of Tostito scoops, I notice.
There was a special on these tonight. 3 for 1.
3 for 1?
Yep.
How can that be profitable for Frito-Lay?
These corporations, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, you two enjoy each other. It's often we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
I'm so sorry for even bringing that up, but like that's always been like my thing because I've seen him. He's been on the come up. He's been doing really well for himself as far as like serious movies roles go.
And that was so long ago. But yeah, he's
Well, not
really
just that, but like recently, he was like in The Hair of the Dog, which wasn't great, but that's not his fault, or Along Came the Dog. Sorry, not Hair of the Dog. Along Came the Dog. Along Came a Dog.
What?
It was a cowboy movie.
With Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh God, you're getting the title wrong still. But I can't remember what it actually is.
Dog. Hey Kyle,
it's something.
I'm not looking it up. I don't care enough about that movie to look up the fucking title.
Hi, listener. Jared from the Slight Future here. The movie title we could not remember was Power of the Dog.
He has been on the come up, and so when I see him and someone's like, oh man, could they not get DiCaprio, at all? But like having them both in the same film was quite fun. I remember, so Haley sat down with me after this morning to watch the other 2 hours of the film.
I was wondering if you were going to watch it together.
After I watched it an hour and a half last night.
I know.
And so I gave her the brief rundown, and I'm like, and Jesse Plemons is in this fucking movie, and I don't know when he shows up.
He shows up in the last like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it. And fucking, what's it? Brendan Fraser's in the goddamn film.
For less than 10 minutes.
It's amazing. Like, dude,
John Lithgow's in it for a few minutes.
Yeah, no shit.
Killing it, too.
The camera pans over, and he's like, is that Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, he just jumps up and starts yelling at the judge.
He's doing fucking great, too. I was so delighted to see him in this movie. I'm so sorry. We're getting way off topic.
This is great. All of this was like fodder on like film Twitter, which I know you're not plugged into at all.
I'm not. I don't do Twitter. Hold on. Sorry. Well, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. You're dead naming it.
We don't.
So you gotta stop doing that.
We don't do that here. But yeah, this movie it took up a lot of air in the room for me because I'm on I'm plugged into like film circles and whatever.
Right. And anytime Scorsese makes something.
Exactly. Because he is like one of our biggest directors.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they need to stay. Like, I love the guy. He's made some incredible films. And he's in his 80s now. So whenever he makes a movie, especially a $200 million epic like this, it's a big deal. And like everyone wants to see it and is excited to talk about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, even big actors that just have like cameo roles in it, people would just be like, can you fucking believe that?
Yeah.
How good are they? You know?
Right? Yeah.
Because like Brendan clearly like came in right off the set of The Whale to like shoot this.
I was gonna fucking say that too. I was like, he does not look like that anymore.
No, it was only when he was shooting that.
They only tapped him for that specific during that point in time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's roll right into it though.
Let's fucking go.
Fucking hell yeah. So, Killers of the Flower Moon. It came out in 2023, but I think like November.
Yeah, it was very late in the year, and it was at that point where it was like I have to make decisions on what I'm gonna see before the year's over with.
Right.
And I'm sorry, it had to be Aquaman.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, it had to be Aquaman. I had to get wet for it.
Well, and this movie went right to Apple TV Plus.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it's an Apple TV movie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Film stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone.
Yes.
The official synopsis is, when oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery.
That is succinct, yeah.
So a quick note to that official synopsis, they are not known as the FBI at the time. They were known as just the Bureau of Investigation,
right.
But it later became the FBI.
Yeah.
Very, very important detail because the book that this film is based on, in the subtitle, it's about how this was the birth of the FBI. This was their first case.
Oh, this was their first case?
In fact, J. Edgar Hoover picked it because of President Coolidge, right? I think, yeah.
Kyle.
Kyle, please, call in and we will add this addendum to the next episode. Thank you, sir. We love you, Kyle. We're not picking on you. We're dead serious. We're going to have a Kyle corner. I swear to God.
I think that's a great addition.
I was not joking when I told him, like, please call in and like give us these notes. Because, okay, listener, our friend Kyle got really upset with us for what we said about him in the Godzilla episode, but we meant it. And and he starts ranting to us about how the Japanese military was set up after occupation.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were both like, wow. And I told him, like, Kyle, call us and record this or something so that we can put it in the episode. Like, I was not joking. It's really good.
It is really good. Fuck.
I digress.
So hold on real quick. You said this, this was he picked this case. I thought it was because the Osage gave him $20,000. That's what they said in the film. That
may have happened. I don't actually know that.
Are you here because you care, or are you here because we gave you 20 grand?
I do know they sent money to the government to help get it done. I haven't read the book.
Okay.
I plan to now, having seen the movie. I want to read up on this. I'm not going to pepper in a ton of like, well, in actuality, blah, 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 this happened. Because I don't know. And B, we're doing the movie. We're not doing the book.
We're doing the movie.
So unfortunately, not all of these events are how they actually happened. We're just going to cover the events of the film.
Right.
However, the film is based on the nonfiction book of the same name by David Gran. Killers of the Flower Moon was written by Eric Roth, the film, and Martin Scorsese, and it was directed by Martin Scorsese. Now, like I said earlier, Martin Scorsese, big name movie director. If you don't know him, you may have seen one of his movies before. He's very prestigious.
He's got a lot of them.
Goodfellas is, I think, the one that everyone talks about.
I've never seen it. You know this.
You're going to cover it.
I know, yeah.
You're going to have a good time.
I will.
He's also did Casino, another gangster movie with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci. But he's Gangs of New York with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Fantastic film.
The Aviator with Leo.
Fantastic film.
May have been his first Leo movie. Or was he in Gangs?
He was in Gangs.
He was in Gangs too. I think that was his first.
He's the revenge guy.
He did Shutter Island also with Leo.
I quite enjoyed that. Yeah.
What are some of his more recent films?
He did that awful pilgriming Christians going to Japan.
Oh, Silence. With Liam Neeson and your guy, Kylo
Adam Driver. And also Sony's Spider-Man, not the
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield.
That movie was not good.
In the 80s, he made The Last Temptation of Christ with Willem Dafoe. Very quickly, the film's budget was $200 million. It is a very big, grand, epic period piece.
Yeah.
With beautiful sets and costumes.
It's 3.5 hours long.
Yes. And it stars a lot of big names. So, the budget is on the screen.
Right.
You're really seeing this.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it only grossed $156 million at the box office.
Ooh.
But this was a streamer movie. So it's kind of one of those things where they made a deal.
Money's kind of intangible.
Right.
It's the same thing like, what was it? When we were talking about Ripple Moon, you were like, the box office is...
There is no box office.
Yeah,
because Netflix is using this to get subscribers or to keep subscribers.
You can't put a price tag on it.
But with Martin Scorsese, he says when he gets signed onto a movie, he says you have to put this in theaters.
Right.
That's why this happened essentially. But Apple TV.
So hold on, this was made for the app. They just so happened to put it in theaters too.
To say it was made for the app, I think is disingenuous. Okay. It was produced by Apple TV, Apple for Apple TV Plus.
I gotcha. Okay,
and it is now on that service if you have it.
Right on.
Which I think anyone with an iPhone essentially has.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, so it's almost anyone listening can probably watch this right now.
Right.
It's going to take you a while. It was like our whole Sunday basically was starting and stopping this movie.
Yeah, I started it at like 10:30 last night.
Yeah,
and I stayed up till about 1. I think I had to pause it a couple times because I had to go like get up and take a piss or get some snacks.
We had a lot of pauses,
and then like I had to stop. Yeah, I was like, I can't fucking do it, dude. I'm starting to really crash. So then I woke up this morning and finished it.
It's. We both have young kids. It's hard to watch a long movie anymore.
And like he was fully awake for this morning. So he sat down and was being a fucking nuisance while I was watching it.
Aww.
I had subtitles on, so it was fine.
Yeah, we had to do the same. We have to do it with anything now too. Just because I can't fiddle with the volume anymore and I don't want to disturb the kid. It's a whole thing.
Right.
Anyway, writing for the film verdict, critic Alonso Duralde said the film is a haunting examination of entitlement and colonialization. Scorsese's exquisitely produced, powerfully acted look at American history hits hard and then acknowledges the shortcomings of attempting to turn this level of tragedy into narrative entertainment. Film critic of The Observer, Rex Reed, was a bit more passive on the film, saying, "In the end, I recommend seeing it, but I think Killers of the Flower Moon is the kind of movie you respect and admire without much actual enjoyment." I put that in there because I kind of feel that way.
Really?
And
I think that the guy's wrong.
I'm going to sort through my feelings as we talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, this wasn't a high point for me of Scorsese's career. It's hard to recommend this movie,
You think that?
Yeah, because it's not a feel-good movie.
It's not every movie has to be a feel-good movie.
I understand that.
I hate fun, and I loved this movie.
I'm glad to hear that. Wow.
Take that as you will.
It's just one of those things where it's hard to come away from this movie feeling wowed or excited, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's setting out to do either of those things.
And I don't mean it needs to be feel good. I probably misspoke in saying that because There Will Be Blood is not a feel good movie.
No,
but that's a movie you walk out of going, oh my God. And you just can't wait to rant and rave to other people about how good it is. Maybe not for you. Sorry if that's a bad example.
No. Yeah. Okay. So I guess my counter to that would be, because for whatever reason, Tulsa has been like a hot talking point
right
here and there, especially in film, because we've had both Lovecraft Country and The Watchmen talk about Tulsa. I can't remember if there was like another movie that came out not too long ago that also talked about Tulsa.
I feel like there was, but I can't think of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Put my finger on it. And then like this movie has like a newsreel from Tulsa.
Right. That tries to make a comparison point. Right.
Yeah. There's like 2 instances in this film where they're making a comparison, and it's like, man, when I finished this movie and you know, you told me that these things really did happen. It was like, fuck, another instance of like, not genocide, but like crazy erasure in our history that nobody fucking talks about. And it's wild. And like, that would be me ending the movie, getting up and being like, man, I really need to tell some people about this.
I see what you mean. I think you're already turning me around. But another thing too, now that this comes to mind now, is when we talk about systematic racism, okay, and how we have politicians and people that argue in front of school boards about how, oh, well, this book or this work of fiction or nonfiction implies that America is racist or was racist or somebody famous did something racist and we shouldn't talk about it. I think the point of this story, you know, both the actual events that are depicted in the book and then how they are kind of dramatized for the film, is an important lesson in, yes, America's past and even present is sordid and steeped in racism. Yeah. You know, like these are horrible, horrible events that took place because of people with racist beliefs that felt entitled.
Racist beliefs and greed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and 1,000%.
This whole movie
1,000%.
is just about greed.
Yes.
Yeah.
About essentially white people siphoning money from native, you know, indigenous people.
Yeah.
That they felt didn't deserve it.
I don't understand why we can't just like, what is the harm in acknowledging that? What is the harm in acknowledging it?
Because to some people,
yeah,
and I don't need to name names.
Yeah,
Moms for Liberty, conservatives, what you name it, all these fucking assholes out there. To even say that is to acknowledge that there's something wrong with America in its beliefs and its core and its history,
exceptionalism.
And how dare you ever point out that like the founding fathers owned slaves, you know, like that sort of thing, where it's like those people were flawed. Like, sure, they created a country that we live in now.
Yep.
And is it great? Yes and no.
The fact that me and you can have this conversation and not have any kind of repercussions is in and of itself a feature of living here that not every place has.
Well, yes, but when people say that sort of thing, it's like, okay, the number of countries where you're not allowed to like complain about the government are very small. So we shouldn't constantly be like, well, America's great because we could talk bad about people. Like, no, stop. We have to stop using that as our metric. You know, there are so many countries greater than ours.
True.
That allow for the same thing. We have to stop using that as a metric. But I digress. My point is, we should be allowed to talk about the sins of our past because otherwise we're never going to do better. We're only going to repeat them, and to lie or to obfuscate or to move past those things. Thank you. Obfuscate.
No problem. I got you.
To move past those things is to ignore and not acknowledge truths of things, evils that we've done, or that not even ourselves, but our ancestors or the people that came before us, the people that were in charge before us. You have to acknowledge those things, because otherwise you're being just as evil, I think, to move past it and ignore it, to be neutral about it. We're recording this on Martin Luther King Day.
Yes, we are.
Sorry to date the podcast. This will come out in 2 weeks, I think. But how many people love to talk about Dr. King, to quote Dr. King?
I know.
and will never acknowledge that he spoke out on Vietnam.
Yep.
That he thought poverty was one of the greatest evils of our world, and that systematic racism, if he was alive today, he would be railing against people like Ron DeSantis, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Mm-hmm.
He would have a fucking,
field day. Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm aware.
I was not prepared to do all this. I'm sorry, but I'm just riffing.
No, but so once again, let's circle back.
Yes,
that is the things that are depicted in this film is exactly what would get me to be like at a party situation. Hey, have you seen this movie? This movie, shows some stuff that happened in our American history, and I think it's important.
Yeah, I didn't know the story.
I didn't either.
Before I learned that this movie was being made and started reading up on it, and I was shocked. I knew stuff like this happened essentially.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that there was like a reservation where a ton of oil was discovered, a tribe became rich, and then until they were systematically assassinated essentially and had it siphoned away.
The parasites came in.
But from the beginning, the government appointed white people.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't really, they kind of gloss over it. It's depicted in the movie, but they don't really explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because that's something that, like, the movie doesn't treat you like an idiot. It doesn't sit you down and say, like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But we see
Molly.
Lily Gladstone's character, Molly, constantly go to this, like, Wilford Brimley-ass white dude.
Yeah.
And just argue that, like, I need money for this. And then you go ahead.
I don't understand. So, like, she says her name, and then she says incompetent.
Yes.
And then her lot number 285.
And they don't explain this. So she has to acknowledge that she's been declared incompetent by a U.S. federal court.
Oh,
that's why they have these court-appointed minders that have to sign off on their money.
That's right.
On what they're allowed to withdraw and spend. Because they were all of the native people, the indigenous people of that reservation, the Osage, were declared incompetent by the government. And so all of that money that they received from the oil drilling rights was put into like trust essentially.
Yeah.
And that's when you see at the train station in the beginning, all the native people were lining up to receive their money.
Yeah.
It's because the government disperses it for them.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
That is
it's so fucked, man.
Yeah, I know. And it was neat to see. Oh, hold on. Do you want to read
I should probably
read your stuff and then we can try to like maybe possibly circle back. But there was a lot of neat things right in the opening of this film.
So on Letterboxd, user 24 Frames of Nick said, I hope the first person to watch this as TikTok clips gets hit by a car. 4.5 stars.
What is it? What do they mean by that?
Like when people cut up movies into TikTok reels so that you can watch an entire movie through like.
No, they do that.
Do you not get that on Instagram? I do.
No, I don't.
I follow like film people, I guess is why I do.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. No, I did not know. Damn, dude, how could you possibly? That's 3.5 fucking hours. There's no way. There's no way.
People do that though. I'm not joking. I've heard of this. Dude. People that are like, I watched that whole movie through someone cut it up on TikTok. I know.
Oh my God. Okay.
I know. Okay, so I did write up the plot of the film. Feel free to jump in at any point.
I will. If whatever you're talking about is got something interesting to it, I'll jump.
Please do.
Yeah.
I tried to be brief, but this is a long movie.
I know.
But I know not everyone's going to watch it, and it's convoluted. It's like I knew if I tried to sit here without having written this up, I'd be struggling.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So the Osage Nation, a tribe of indigenous Americans, having been moved to a reservation in Oklahoma, discover that their land is rich with oil. Members of the tribe become incredibly wealthy thanks to the rights of the oil fields, although they are required by U.S. law to have their money managed by court-appointed legal guardians as the members of the tribe are deemed incompetent. Sorry to repeat what I just explained, but
it's okay.
Isn't that so shitty?
It sucks.
In 1919, Ernest Burkhart, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, returns from World War I to live with his uncle, William King Hale, played by Robert De Niro, who is a deputy sheriff and cattle rancher that is popular amongst the Osage people of Fairfax, Oklahoma.
And he's wealthy. Like he makes it a point to say that I got my wealth without oil.
Yes. He's a cattle rancher.
Why the fuck did
cattle ranchers were very...
Why did he do what he did? Other than greed,
man.
It's fucking crazy.
That's never enough for these people.
It's the craziest fucking thing.
Will, don't you know by now?
Dude, I know.
It's capitalism.
Brother,
it's a disease. It's never enough.
I'm aware. It's just like, it fucking blows my mind. It blows my mind.
I know.
He faces consequences.
He had how many people murdered? It's never enough. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. So Hale recommends to Ernest that he marries Molly Kyle, played by Lily Gladstone, as her Osage family has oil rights, which entitle them to a wealthy income. Ernest, shown to be a hooded robber at night and a cab driver by day.
And a fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Ernest
Not a bright man.
Ernest is a dumb guy.
He meets Molly in town and begins to court her. They eventually marry and have 3 children.
One of them's name's Cowboy.
Yeah, I did love that.
Cowboy's great.
His kids were really cute.
They were. Are you going to talk about like how they showed the passage of time based on how his kids grew?
Oh, no, actually.
That was one of my favorite things from the film because it doesn't tell you.
Yeah, the film takes place over a long period of time.
Yeah, you get context based on like, oh, you got back from the war. Okay, so that's the 1917s, and then you can like start doing math based on that, especially when you find out that Molly is pregnant for the 3rd time while she's taking insulin, and somebody's being buried. And so like you can tell it's like, I can't remember what it was, but you can tell 9 months has passed because we found out she was pregnant and now the baby is here, and things like that. Like watching the kids grow up gives you kind of context as to how, like what year it is.
Right.
So I like that.
Yeah. To me, a lot of the trailers of this film made me think that it was going to be more of a love story about Leo protecting Lily Gladstone's character from Robert De Niro.
Yeah. But it was not the case at all.
Actually, some of the movie kind of implies that, but that there is more happening behind the scenes and that Leo is a darker character than it's put on.
Yeah.
And then the film slowly reveals more and more that he actually is worse than we realized. And then by the end of the film, he's confessed to everything. And you realize, oh my God, from the beginning, he really was in on this. But he himself is conflicted. I'm jumping to the end. I'm sorry. But he himself, you can tell
he loves her,
is conflicted about how much he loves her.
Yeah.
How much he was actually hurting her.
Yeah.
It's really fucked, man.
No, it is fucked. It was neat, a neat thing to watch because like I remember one of the first conversations he has with Blackie. I love money almost as much as I love my wife. And he knows that he's actively poisoning her. So sometimes he'll take the poison too. Like almost like a weird, like a psychological atonement sort of thing.
I did kind of like that they make his character nuanced to show that he is troubled by the fact that he's doing this to her.
Yeah.
But it is hard to have sympathy for him by the end still.
I don't.
Because he's a humongous piece of shit.
Especially because like when she's like, what were you giving me? Were you giving me just
And he can't own up to it.
He can't because he's a fucking coward. He's a fucking coward. All of the people who went to that town to leech off of these people were fucking cowards. All of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. This is, I feel like we do that all the time.
Well,
we just start jumping to the end and being like, wasn't this great?
This movie's great. I love this movie.
That's the pod, baby. That's the debaser promise. Anyway, Hale, Robert De Niro's character, just in case you're following along and got lost, Hale organizes the assassinations of multiple wealthy Osage, including both of Molly's sisters. Outraged after a series of unsolved murders with no investigations or trials, the Osage Council meets to demand justice. They hire an international private investigator who was promptly murdered after only beginning to collect evidence.
What a bummer for that guy.
It's insane how wanton some of the shit is that they pull off.
Yeah, they just go for it. Yeah.
And you just see Ernest, Leo's character, just like bludgeoning that guy to death. And I was like, holy fuck. His wife just hired that guy.
Yeah.
Molly's mother, Lizzie, passes seemingly from old age, and another Osage murder is murdered in order for Hale to collect a life insurance policy he took out on the man. Hale is in league with both the town sheriff and multiple judges, and no investigations into the murders.
And the doctors.
Right. I think I left them out of this, actually.
Oh, word.
No investigations into the murders is made, and he is not linked to them at all. After Hale and Ernest have Molly's last remaining relatives murdered by dynamite in their home, Molly travels to Washington, D.C. personally to ask President Calvin Coolidge to send help to investigate the murders. After learning of this, Hale has Molly's doctors, and eventually Ernest himself, poison Molly's regular insulin shots. As Molly becomes more and more frail, Ernest, feeling guilty, begins dosing himself with the poison as well. Because of Molly's request in D.C., Agent Thomas Bruce White Sr., played by Jesse Plemons, we love the guy.
We do love him.
Arrives in Fairfax to investigate the 20 to 30 murders. He is an agent of the Bureau of Investigation, which we know today as the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Fearing discovery, Hale begins to cover his tracks by having his various hitmen killed, but Agent White receives enough testimony from surviving accomplices that he is able to arrest both Hale and Ernest.
Real quick, the scene of King Hale walking around and getting these poor idiots killed to tie up loose ends was such a fun thing to watch.
This is around the time, too, where he takes Ernest out of a pool hall
Yeah.
to sign over his own rights.
Yeah.
To himself,
'cause you
he's
know
like, in
he's
case
about to
something
get
happens to you, and you're
fucking
like,
killed.
and you know he's thinking it too. He's like, you're about to have me bumped, dude. Yeah,
But he's still like, he can't bring himself to.
but he exactly he can't commit because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to think that he would betray him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't want to think that he'd betray his own wife.
it's crazy.
But he is. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate these guys. They're monsters. I mean,
They are,
yeah.
they are monsters. That's
Anyway,
true. You're right.
I digress. I'm
You're not
sorry.
wrong.
The whole point of this film is that they're monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ernest has been arrested by Jesse Plemons' character.
Mhm.
Ernest confesses to many of his crimes and begs to be released to care for his ailing wife and their children. Molly is located by federal agents and taken to a hospital where she receives real care, I should say, and
Yeah.
recovers from her poisoning. As Ernest's testimony is tantamount to Hale's conviction, Hale's attorney, W.S. Hamilton, played by Brendan Fraser in a cameo role,
Fantastic.
along with many other powerful figures, including oil company executives and Ernest's own family, convince Ernest not to testify against Hale. Ernest is arrested again for his suspected involvement in the murders because he is now refusing to testify against Hale. However, after his youngest daughter dies from whooping cough,
Mhm.
Ernest decides again to testify against Hale to prevent any more of his family from potentially being killed. During Hale's trial, we learn that Hale attempted to have Ernest killed, and Ernest testifies to his involvement in a variety of crimes and murders, all orchestrated by Hale to obtain the oil rights from the Osage. After the trial, Molly meets with Ernest, who states that he has fully come clean. Molly then asks what was in the insulin shots he was administering to her, which were poisoning her. Ernest refuses to come clean and insists he was simply giving her insulin, and she promptly leaves.
Good.
The film then moves to a mid-century radio drama.
Oh, dude, this part was fucking awesome. This was the most artistic part of the whole fucking movie.
I'm so glad you loved this.
I loved it.
It was such a hot topic on Twitter.
Really?
People were so mad about it. But it was like 50-50.
Oh, okay. I was like, why?
Because I had it spoiled. I knew it was coming.
Okay.
But like, I guess in the moment, it shocked me. And then I was like, oh, right, I heard about this.
I thought it was brilliant.
But I agree. It's such a cool choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind, though, too.
Okay.
So then the film moves to mid-century radio drama as the case of the Osage murders are being presented as a true crime story, and the radio presenters reveal the aftermath of the film's characters. Both Ernest and Hale were convicted and received life sentences. However, both were paroled after years of incarceration and died peacefully in their homes at advanced ages. Monsters die at home. Ernest's brother Byron was never convicted, but is suspected to have been involved with several murders, including that of his own wife. The doctors that provided Ernest with Molly's poison and were suspected to be Hale's accomplices in various other murders were never prosecuted due to lack of evidence. Molly divorced Ernest and lived with her new husband on the Osage Reservation until she died from complications and diabetes in 1937. Then, in the radio drama, Martin Scorsese, the director himself, comes on screen to read Molly's obituary.
Okay. I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, I got really choked up when he came out.
No.
Mrs. Molly Cobb, 50 years of age, passed away at 11 o'clock Wednesday night in her home. She was a full-blood Osage. She was buried in the old cemetery in Greyhorse beside her father, her mother, her sisters, and her daughter.
Yeah.
There was no mention of the murders.
Yeah.
And that's how the film ends.
It's fucking good. Well, it ends with the people.
Well,
in
we
the circle.
see.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry. It doesesn't end on that. That's so important.
It is.
We
important.
actually cut to an
Jeez,
Osage
Jared.
jump circle. No, I forgot.
I'm just messing with you.
It's a real. Oh man.
Our sea car go this way. Hey, I want to watch Peppa Pig.
I can't
Dude,
wait.
go watch Peppa Pig in some motherfucking room, kid. So, but you know
That bully.
that boy. So
The
she
bully. Peppa.
yeah.
Sorry.
Peppa is a bully, dude.
That's what I hear.
Bro, remind me later.
Yeah.
But she watched the last 2 hours of the film, and she's like, "I'm gonna watch the first hour and a half after
Yeah.
you leave."
Yeah.
'Cause she's like, "This is really good," and
Yeah.
it was fantastic. Some of the best parts about that movie was watching Ernest being given a task to kill somebody, and then going to somebody stupider than him to do that task, and then fucking it up in like a glorious fashion.
One of the, I think the moonshiner guy, when he's like begging him to blow up his brother's house,
Yeah.
he's like, "Why are you always trying to get me to do this shit? Why don't you do it yourself?"
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's fucking good. I need you to shoot him in the head. Make it look like a suicide. Goes around back, blasts his, and he's in the fucking car. He's in the guy's car. Idiot. You fucking morons, dude. Just like the dumbest fucking people getting away with absolute murder.
I know, they're
And-
not even clever about it.
No, and like, good Jesus Christ, man. So there's an episode where Peppa Pig learns she can't whistle, and she calls up one of her friends. It's like, hey Molly, can you whistle? And she goes, yeah, and she whistles, and Peppa fucking hangs up the phone because she's pissed.
I heard she's a bully and that you shouldn't watch that show.
She fucking sucks. My kid loves that show.
Okay, I've got some trivia.
Let's hear it.
I got a lot because it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So Martin Scorsese intentionally did not include subtitles during certain Osage spoken scenes. Did that fuck with you too?
No. So actually,
okay.
What's a fun thing about that, right? I assumed that was the case at the beginning of the film.
I did too, but then Courtney was like, I don't know. And we were watching it on the Plex, so it was that thing of like, you don't know if it was like, if I have a setting wrong or what.
I was maybe 13 minutes into the movie, and I was like, I can't understand a fucking word De Niro is saying. So I put the subtitles on.
Right.
And when Haley restarted the movie, I had missed bits and pieces of the montage of like them setting the scene.
Yes.
And before that is when they're talking in Osage. And there's fucking subtitles. It's like, motherfucker, I have no idea what they said. I have no idea what the fuck they said.
That's okay, because I feel... Okay, well, let me finish reading this.
Yeah, sorry.
So according to Scorsese, he wanted people to see the movie, not read the movie, and that in the scenes where the subtitles are not included, the viewers should be able to tell what is being said. I felt like that was true, because when the subtitles weren't working, I would lean over to Courtney and go, okay, this is what I think's happening. And then when we rewound and found out there were subtitles for some of the scenes, it was exactly like Courtney was like, oh, you were right. That's exactly what was happening. Because like I think the first time it happens, it's some Osage women are kind of gossiping about their husbands and boyfriends.
Yes.
And I was like, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then we went it back, and they were really, it's crucial that you know that she calls him coyote in that scene. Right. I think, because it comes up again a few times later.
Well, it's funny because like her sister calls him a snake.
Right. And she goes, no, he's more of a coyote, you know?
No, he is a snake.
Well, that's the thing. He was a snake.
Yeah. He was literally fucking poisoning her.
Yep.
Like dead on, dude.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, the foreshadowing, right? Oh, man.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, there are some scenes where there's just no subtitles. And it's because
I did recognize
you're just supposed to pick up on what's being said here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. I like that. The film mentions restricted and unrestricted persons. In an early scene, Molly has to request her own money to pay a medical bill. The courts deemed most Osage incapable of managing their own finances, and a white overseer had to handle their money. If an Osage woman married a white man, he automatically became her financial overseer. That is why we see a lot of white men married to Osage women, both because they were doing it for the money, and because it allowed the Osage woman to become a bit more financially independent, though, too. It was a terrible...
Silly little time.
Terrible system.
That also, like, I feel like that system put in place set up all of the chain reactions that happened. Like, it was so
much to even more corruption, right?
It was so much easier to be like, okay, well, if they've got a cap on their money, right?
Yeah.
And they have this many much, then all I have to do is play kingmaker and wait and bide my time.
Exactly. That system of trying to fuck with the Osage people's money led to someone like Hale to even further manipulate. Oh, you're absolutely right. It's so disgusting. I think the book really digs into that too.
I'm sure
it is a comprehensive.
Yeah, you told. I remember we had a small conversation when I was like, "Hey, was this real?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's based on a book."
Yes.
And Hale is one person in a multi-person
in real life
thing.
I think I have something on this later, but in real life, Hale is like an amalgamation of like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
It's alluded to in the movie when we see Ernest brought into a room with Brendan Fraser where he's trying to convince him not to testify against Hale.
Yeah. And
it's a room full of like wealthy white people. Some of them we're told are oil executives. Some of them are Brian or Ernest's own family. And these are essentially stand-ins for all the real people that were involved in this.
Yeah.
That were essentially ordering assassinations and orchestrating all this shit.
If they hadn't shortened down the role to just one dude, this movie would have been like 6 hours.
Exactly. They had to, make it brief for a film. Unsurprisingly, judges frequently appointed their own supporters as overseers of the Osage.
Oh, wow. Imagine that.
Yeah. And the overseers siphoned off considerable amounts of money. When the Osage tried to complain to the courts, their cases were thrown out unheard, of course. According to the source novel, the Osage Indian murders involved a vast conspiracy with hundreds of individuals instead of just a few killers with several accomplices. When adapting the historical events into a motion picture, screenwriter Eric Roth's initial script streamlined the events and focused on several people.
Probably for the better.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, otherwise it's like, just read the book if you want the full story.
Yeah.
The investigation of the Osage murders was the first investigation presented to the newly formed Federal Bureau of Investigation, aka the FBI. It was led by J. Edgar Hoover himself.
I actually love that when Jesse Plemons showed up, he's like, "Hey, we're a federal thing. We're the Bureau of Investigation." Like he had to like spell it out. Like, "Oh we're not from here. We're federal."
Yeah.
The Bureau of Investigation.
And that was just not a thing until then.
Yeah.
And I think Hale even asked him, like, who's your boss? And he goes, J. Edgar Hoover. And he goes, never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't
that's
even
the
know
moment
that
for the
guy.
audience to be like, ah!
Yeah.
Because also, Leonardo DiCaprio
You did
play J.
yes.
Edgar Hoover in the Clint Eastwood movie,
He
which
did.
I did not enjoy.
You didn't enjoy that movie?
No. It was so boring.
I liked it. I wanted to see Leo make out with the cannibal.
Oops.
Army Hammer.
Oh, he's in that? Oh.
He's the guy. He's the
I
guy he
don't
makes
remember.
out with. Oh, okay.
Don't remember.
I enjoyed it.
What a movie. That I was asleep for that movie, I feel like, too. Lily Gladstone, I love this story, was in the process of registering for a data analytics job training course and entering her credit card information when a Gmail notification popped up alerting her to a request for a Zoom meeting with Martin Scorsese. As this was during the height of COVID-19, Gladstone was considering a career change due to a dry spell in her acting. According to Leonardo DiCaprio, there was no reading. Marty just instinctively knew Lily was the one. There was a truthfulness in her eyes that he saw, even over a computer screen. I've never known Scorsese to meet somebody and then immediately afterwards have this gravitational pull and instinct to say, let's not wait another minute. Let's hire this person.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Yes. So one complaint I've heard or read
Sure.
about this film is that the Osage characters are a little underwritten.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I agree with that. And I do think it was out of fear of being disrespectful, maybe.
I can see that.
But I will say, to her credit, Lily Gladstone does so much with a look.
She doesn't have to say shit.
Exactly.
You can tell exactly
the way
what's going
she
on in her
will
face.
look at a character or even look off to the side
Yeah,
is so much more powerful than almost any line in the film.
I agree. A couple other different things that I enjoyed. The montage at the beginning of like out of nowhere where they tell like, oh, the Osage people are they're cursed, and then it just shows a bunch of them just getting fucking murdered, like the craziest shit, man.
Yeah.
The one where the guy like pokes his arm outside of the window. I don't even think he looks, and he fucking shoots the girl with the baby.
Yeah.
Some crazy shit, man.
Yeah, and they pick up the baby
and they take it back in the house
and run off with it. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of that was trying to summarize like just how bad the assassinations were.
Yeah. And so blatant too.
Exactly. How blatant they were.
Yeah.
And they were never investigated. And if they were, it was a,
this was a suicide.
A cop out. Exactly.
Or it was somebody on the payroll.
Exactly.
To just look at the other way.
Because when Jesse Plemons' character comes in.
Yeah, he's like, everybody is like, hey, we have a peacekeeper. Go see him. He's like, yeah, I've seen him. He fucking sucks. He doesn't do
blew me
anything.
off too. Yeah. Everyone's like, I don't have time to talk to you. You should talk to this person.
Yeah.
And you could tell when all the federal investigators meet up in that field, they're like, yeah, this town is crooked as fuck, huh? And then they see Robert De Niro burning his field after just having opened an insurance policy on it.
With one of the agents.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he took out a fire insurance policy a month ago, $30,000.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, looks like you're going to be busy in the morning, huh?
Yeah, that was what a great scene.
God.
Another scene that I really loved was when they sit Ernest down, Leo's character down, and for court. And fucking Brendan Fraser stands up. I would like to talk to this man.
I need that private counsel. This is also my client.
Yeah, I represent him. Give him to me now. I haven't been able to talk to his ass.
And John Lithgow was like, that's a conflict of interest. You can't represent the defendant.
It's going to be witness tampering. What the fuck is going on? And the judge is like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's, oh my God. It's such a mistrial of justice, man. Or miscarriage of justice.
Oh my God. That scene was so fucking good. God damn. What a great movie. I really fucking enjoyed myself. Martin, hits another fucking home run in my opinion. And he has had some stinkers recently. Like I remember
you did not like Silence.
I fucking hated Silence. And there was like a couple other ones cuz I remember we were talking about Scorsese and I can't remember why, and I was looking through his filmography and I was like, "Damn, there's some fucking shit ass ones here that I didn't realize he directed, and that was one of them."
Did you see Hugo?
I did see Hugo.
Did you like that?
I fell asleep.
Oh wow!
I know it's like it's a charming movie, but I know Haley really liked it.
I just picked up the Blu-ray because I've never seen it and I want to watch it like with my daughter because it's like a kids movie that he made and he does not do those.
Yeah, that's true. One other thing that I wanted to say is
Taxi Driver.
Yes, exactly. Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
That is the reason why we talked about some of his other movies,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I like Scorsese. And then I looked through his film and it's like, well, actually, maybe hold on a second. I don't know if I like him now because some of these I've seen and they fucking suck. What I was gonna say is, if you liked this movie, right, and you think of the injustices done to these people, I really would suggest you check out Wind River.
That's right.
With Jeremy Renner. Have you seen it?
No, but
I've suggested it twice now.
The guy who wrote it is
that's right. He did the
Yellowstone guy that we like.
Yeah.
Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water. That's right. Exactly. And
Taylor Sheridan.
Yes.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I really do think that we do need to eventually watch that movie because that film covers a similar thing where a bunch of indigenous women go missing and ain't nobody doing anything about it.
Oh, well, it's almost like this is a common thing in American history. It's really fucked.
Yeah, it is fucked. You know, they don't give a shit about, like, when something happens on a reservation for reservation people, the government says, well, that's not our fucking problem.
Sorry, that's your own jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We're not getting involved. Yeah, it's
messed up.
It sucks.
Because they don't have the resources.
So Scorsese also did Wolf of Wall Street.
Which I loved. Great movie. Yep.
Shutter Island, of course, The Departed. Oh, I love The Departed.
Departed is fantastic. Oh my God. What a fucking fantastic movie! Yeah. I like. It was a St. Patrick's Day one year, like maybe 8 years ago.
Oh, that is the most St. Patrick's Day movie.
So you know what's funny is, like, I got riffed on because there was one year I was really young. I think I was like 19 or 20, and I was living with who is now my wife, and we watched Mortal Kombat and ate spaghetti on St. Patrick's Day. Because I thought it was funny, and I'd never gotten to watch Mortal Kombat because my mom sheltered me. I remember mentioning that to our buddy Michael, and Michael's like, "That's not what you watch on that day. You watch, what's the one with the two guys? They shoot the people. They do the
the Boondock Saints.
You watch Boondock Saints or you watch The Departed. That's what or Gangs of New York. Those are the things that you watch."
Okay, Michael's. I agree.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Well, fuck, I've never seen any of these." So that's how I ended up seeing the
Departed.
Not The Departed.
Boondock
Saints. And so for whatever reason, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm supposed to watch these things. It's on Netflix." I'm like 20. I'm 26 or whatever, and I put it on. I was like, "Holy fuck, this movie's great!
It's incredible.
How have I not seen this?"
Leo is so good in it.
Mark Wahlberg's really good in it.
It's one of Mark Wahlberg's best movies after Boogie Nights.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love Boogie Nights.
The way Martin Sheen says microprocessors with the Boston accent is so funny. Him and Alec Baldwin. It's so good.
It's very good.
But anyway, yeah. Marky Mark is also really good in that movie.
Even though he sucks, he's a big piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. In real life, that man sucks. Yeah. But we can appreciate his role in film.
Yeah, of course.
Occasionally when Mel Gibson isn't in it, too. I will never forgive him for trying to, I guess he successfully got Mel Gibson,
sanitize his
to come back into Hollywood. Get fucked, man. Microprocessors.
Microprocessors. Micro what? Microprocessors.
Yeah, I don't know what movie you didn't like on here.
Silence. I didn't like Silence.
But I thought you felt like there was more.
There's a couple others on there.
The Irishman?
I loved The Irishman.
See, you like more of his movies than you dislike.
I know.
Man.
This is true.
Every time I name one, you're like, I love that movie.
Yeah, but the silence is so fucking bad. It just drags everything. It's like a black hole, dude.
But when you go through his directed movies, there are 68 movies
Jared,
on here, and you didn't like one of them.
You know for a fucking fact, I'm gonna get a wild hair 2 days from now after recording, and I'm gonna look through his filmography, and then I'm gonna send you a message I didn't like these.
There's nothing recent on here that
I don't know, dude.
You would have seen that you didn't like besides Silence,
I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. I hated that goddamn movie so much.
That's fine. I get it.
Fuck that movie.
We're going to cover it on the pod and you're going to change your mind.
Absolutely not.
I know you never saw Bringing Out Your Dead with Nicolas Cage.
Who says I didn't?
Me.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I know. I know this. I could just assume that. That's enough going. I'm up to 91, so I'm not going to do any more.
I'm sorry.
Of those.
It's a black hole, dude. Sucks everything. It's
Scorsese's career.
Yeah. No, the silence and everything else is grasping at the sides to get dry, to pull themselves out. But it's just it's a void.
Maybe that's the point of the movie,
Oh, that it's so bad that it ruins a guy's career. He's gonna pass away in 2 years.
It did ruin his career,
and the
though.
only thing that I can think of is, God, that movie fucking
He got a
sucked.
$200 million passion project greenlit afterwards. And it got some of the biggest,
I'm almost
reviews-
positive that's because of the pillar of his work and not that piece of shit movie.
Okay, so the Emmys are tonight. The Oscars are still a little ways away.
Yeah.
But obviously Leo is up for Best Actor.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think Lily Gladstone will
Should.
be up for Best Actress.
Yeah.
Now,
should she win?
Having said that, it almost feels like category fraud because I don't even think she's second lead in this. I think De Niro has more screen time than her.
He does. And they both have more lines.
Because, like I said earlier, she's underwritten.
Mm-hmm.
But with the few scenes she has in the film, she is so powerful. Thanks to her performance.
Do you think she should have been supporting actress?
I almost think so. Yes. But I believe they're putting her up for leading actress because obviously who would be over her
right
in this film?
Right.
Is there even another woman that has more than a handful of lines in this film?
No, I actually think that Anna might have a similar amount of lines.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Because she does have a couple of scenes.
A lot.
Well, and that's her character too.
Yeah.
It's
that's the reason why they had to pop her off.
God, when they show you
how they did it, and she's like,
right.
"You're gonna kill me, aren't you?"
And the husband came back home.
Yeah,
and Molly
takes care of him.
Gives him a pillow.
Yeah,
it's like,
up, dude.
She fucking comforted that guy the night he killed her. Like this motherfucker.
Yeah,
these guys.
Yeah,
and they're not remorseful.
No,
it's so awful.
The dude that he went with to do that job was like,
and
hey,
seemingly Leo's.
How about I kill these fucking kids and take their money?
Yeah. Oh, that guy too.
Yeah.
And then when he's running over it with the lawyer, and the lawyer's like, "You realize you're implying to me that you're going to kill these kids. I don't want to acknowledge
if it's illegal. Not if it's not legal."
Luckily, he gets arrested on the way out of that office. But oh my god,
damn, dude, what the fuck? They did not give a single fuck about any of these people, and it's crazy, dude.
Unreal.
It's fucking crazy. What's up?
Does Leo Ernest know that Anna's husband had her killed that night, or do you think he just figures it out?
Absolutely.
I guess he was. I think we realized that he was involved in all of it from the beginning.
Yeah.
He was maybe pretending like he was ignorant of it, but he did know.
Yeah, he knew. He just
God. The more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's awful.
Do you want to like fucking throw out some haymakers and make some Oscars predictions?
I'm not following it too closely.
No.
And the Globes have already happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like they wouldn't do that.
Just you got one? Tim Robinson?
Oh, yes.
For I Think You Should Leave?
Yeah.
Did you see his fucking face?
No.
It was so good.
It was for I Think You Should Leave, though?
Yeah, it was.
Good for him.
And even on Netflix now, it has like Golden Globe winner.
Oh, yeah.
Because I watch it way too much now.
I do. Okay, very quickly.
Yeah.
I finished The Bear last night.
Yeah, yes.
You haven't seen it.
That. No,
I told you should check it out.
I know. I appreciate that, but I'm probably not going to watch it. I'll tell Haley that you liked it, though.
I've had people tell me, Jared, you should watch the show. It's so good. And like I've seen endless raving about it online.
Yeah.
I am such a mark for this show.
Oh, are you really? Oh, is it just like Dan Flashes where you watch a commercial and there's a bunch of dudes that look like you going into Dan Flashes? So, you have to go in, obviously.
I don't think I look like anybody in the show.
No. You look like a person who would watch the show.
Oh, that I could see.
Yeah.
But it is like
oh, shit, that scared the fuck out of me.
My phone, sorry. I do feel like you could label the show like created and made by millennials, maybe.
Okay.
It does like not like Search Party where it's like that's kind of the whole premise.
Dude, Search Party was yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen all of Search Party?
I've seen 3 seasons worth.
Okay. You've seen a lot of it then.
Yeah. Because there's
I think there's only 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like every season is so different. It's so great.
Yeah.
But like we're Search Party where like that's the whole premise of the show is like, what if millennials were in this genre kind of thing?
Yeah.
But like to the worst point, that's too much. I shouldn't even, that's not part of it. Okay. The Bear is about people who care too much about what they do.
Yes.
And how they do it while dealing with, mental illness, the world, family, friends, like you name it. It is an intense show.
I've heard.
It's only 30 minutes though, although there's one episode that's an hour and it earns it. My God, does it earn it. And it's okay. It's the kind of show, and this is kind of a spoiler, so I apologize, but I'll be as vague as possible.
I'm not going to watch it, so.
You are.
No, the fuck, I'm not.
But I'm going to be vague as possible.
Let's go.
It takes your least favorite character from the beginning of the show
Mhm.
and makes them your favorite character by the end.
Okay, Game of Thrones did that for me.
Fuck Game of Thrones. I'm not watching that shit.
Oh, see, there we go. You got yours, I got mine.
And I will say
yeah.
that person that I just said was my least favorite and became my favorite has won many awards for the show.
Oh,
I just
cool.
found out, and I'm very happy for
Hey,
him.
good for him.
This show deserves all of the praise and the accolades it's been getting.
Yeah.
I am so head over heels in love with it. It's all I've been thinking about. Like, it was hard to work on the podcast,
Holy
like
shit.
the movies we cover for the podcast,
Yeah.
because it's all I could think about.
God
and I had to
damn.
like force myself to sit down and watch the movies we were covering
Yeah.
before I finished watching The Bear, because it's so fucking good. I and like I'm doing that thing where I'm making it my personality now. Because I'm using it to justify like my quirks and hobbies kinds of
Yeah.
thing, you know, where
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, this guy cares so much about X. That's why I do this in my real life. You know, I'm applying it to like, you know, things in my own life.
Right.
And the way it examines that sort of thing, both the good and the bad,
Mhm.
I should say, because this show is what happens when you take this too far.
Right. Right.
God damn, it's so good. I say all that though, this show is such a powerhouse of writing and performances.
Yeah.
There's an episode where, at least for me, you're just being hit over the head with characters being played by people, actors that you're just like, oh my God, they're in this? Oh my God, they're in this? Like, and if you've seen the show, you know exactly what episode I'm talking about.
Sure.
Because it's just a revolving door on, oh my God, oh my God,
Yeah.
oh my God. And
Yeah.
I know that episode is going to win so many fucking Emmys tonight.
Oh, good for them.
I can't
Go watch The Bear, guys.
I can't rave enough about it, and I don't want to give anything away about it.
That's fine.
I will say vaguely that season 1 is dramatically different than season 2.
Okay.
And I feel like this is the kind of show where they're only going to do a handful of seasons.
Mhm.
I don't see this show going on forever. It's the kind of thing where it has a story to tell and it's going to tell it and it's
Yeah.
going to move on.
Yeah.
Season 1 is a lot more intense and lots of highs and lows. And season 2 is like building to something.
Mhm.
Season 2 reminds me of like a BioWare game where it's about like taking a group of people and making them get to know each other and make each other
Make that work better for knowing each other. Yeah.
to make themselves each the best version of themselves they can be.
Yeah.
Is how season 2 feels to me. And there's an episode in particular that does this so well. Like, I just felt my heart swell watching it. It was an incredible. Oh God, I can't rave enough about this show.
Guys, if you've listened to this podcast for the many months that we've done it and you think that Jared has good opinions, watch the movie or the show.
Check it out. Check out The Bear.
Go
It's
check
an
it out.
FX show.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
on Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu.
Jeremy Allen White really came out of nowhere for me. Although
Yeah.
I say that having seen Iron Claw and you haven't yet,
I cannot fucking dude.
you're gonna enjoy yourself.
I can't wait.
I know.
Cannot wait.
We're going to be covering it very soon.
Yeah, whenever we get
As
our
soon as it
hands
comes
on
to
streaming.
so that we can watch it.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, we're not able to see it in the theater right now.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's just God, it's so hard.
It is.
But we will cover it for the film.
Yes.
If you're listening and you're on the fence about it, I recommend it. Having seen it now, go check it out. It gets my seal of approval.
The Iron Claw does?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so
Just to give a little bit away, but
yeah,
obviously it's getting so much praise right now. You know, it's
is it?
good.
I actually
Yes.
like. I haven't. You know, I don't like spend too much time looking at.
You don't follow
reviews
like the
and-
Oscar
no,
buzz. And
I
stuff.
don't. I don't. But
I think Zach.
he's a fucking great actor. He's
Yeah.
such a good actor. You know, like I didn't care for High School Musical. You know, when I was in high school and shit. But I remember him being in Neighbors, or I think that's what it was called, the comedy.
Was that him and Franco's brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
And seeing him be like funny and just very different, like showed me that there's more to this guy than
Right.
I
He actually is a nuanced actor.
exactly. And
Yeah.
like he's done nothing but great work since.
Yeah.
And I really like small town wrestling dramas stuff.
Buddy, you're in for a treat.
I know, dude. I know I am. And like
I will say,
yeah.
just to pad my praise a little bit,
Yeah.
this film does kind of feel like Oscar bait.
Oh,
I don't mean that in a bad way.
No. But I know
you
exactly
can take
what you
that
mean.
as you will.
Yeah.
know?
I got you.
Yeah.
That's all good. That's fine. That's okay.
But it's good. And Jeremy Allen White is also great in it.
Fantastic.
Like he plays a surprisingly bigger character than I thought. I thought he would just be auxiliary, but no, he's actually. And I found out the dude he's playing like had a huge career.
Oh, really?
And all this. Yeah, it's like I don't feel like they really show in the film how big he actually was.
Right.
Because Courtney and I were researching the actual family and being like, oh my God.
Holy shit.
There's a fight that's depicted in the film that we pulled up to watch just to see if it was actually like that in real life as it's depicted in the film. And it was. And you were just like, wow, it's
That's
a fight
cool.
that he has. Maybe I shouldn't give it away.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. So
Well.
I'm very excited.
Well, and me knowing what I know about wrestling, like there is a character that shows up where I was just like, wow. But I also knew the guy playing him. Okay, the weakest point of this movie is like a cameo role by an actor that's portraying a famous wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
Not good.
But only if you know the actual wrestler he's portraying.
Please
if you
tell me
don't know, it doesn't ruin it
If you
for
tell me it's Macho Man Randy Savage,
it's not.
Damn it.
Yeah.
We don't have enough Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's Ric Flair. I'll just tell you.
Woo!
Yes. The guy that plays him.
Not doing it.
Weakest part of the whole movie.
Dude, you can't embody Ric Flair. You can't. He is his own enigma, dude.
I disagree.
Oh.
Will Ferrell did
okay.
the perfect Ric Flair impersonation on Eastbound and Down when he was Ashley Schaefer of Ashley Schaefer BMW. He's even got the wig.
Does he?
And the sunglasses.
Fuck yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've never seen Eastbound and Down.
Oh,
I know.
my
It's
God.
one of the ones that I started with Gemstones, and I haven't
Oh.
gone back and done any other ones.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do Vice Principals and Eastbound and
Yeah,
Down.
I know.
Vice Principals is only like one
Well,
or two
I gotta
seasons, though.
resub for Max anyways because True Detective season 4 is
Right.
streaming.
Just get somebody's login.
No, but I don't know anybody that.
Just keep asking around. You'll find somebody. I'm serious. That's how we got it.
Shit. Solid.
That was my bear rant. I'm happy to talk about it.
That's great. I'm not gonna watch it, so you can't talk about it with me.
I'll start bugging Haley.
Kyle?
Haley, sit
Hey
down with
Kyle,
Will and watch this.
Kyle, can you watch the Bear so that you can Kyle Fawcett to come in here? He watches the Bear, or we get him to watch the Bear.
I bet he would. Well,
and then you guys can talk about it.
I need to learn more about Kyle's taste. Kyle, call into the show.
He likes anime.
Read off your top 5 from Letterboxd. He likes anime.
He watches a fuck ton of anime.
Is it like specific anime that like has lots of rules?
When
and
when a new season of anime comes out, when there's like 12 or 18 shows, he'll sample them. And
he
then
pulls a Jason.
He pulls a Jason. He's just like Jason. Yeah, he's just like Jason. But he's got good recommendations.
Not that Jason wouldn't.
No. Yeah, no.
But our tastes are just not aligned always.
Yeah.
Fascinating. We're gonna have Kyle on the show.
Should have Kyle on the show.
Kyle, come on the show.
Fact check us in real time.
You have to sit on my guest bed and
well, I'll hold his arm.
hold a microphone.
Yeah. So good.
Well, folks, thank you for listening to Debaser. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod, especially on Instagram. That's really the main social media platform I focus on for the podcast because Twitter is Twitter. And fucking who cares about Facebook?
Bingo.
I've been Jared Rusk, and my lovely co-host has been Will Taylor. Will, where can people find you, and would you like to plug anything?
Pocket_infinity on Instagram. I don't have anything to plug. This comes out at the end of the month, correct? January 24th.
January 24th.
4th, yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything. I've got nothing going on.
Hell yeah. Take care of yourselves and each other, everybody.
We love you.
There'll be one more episode in January before this.
That's right. The
Or after
31st.
this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Goodbye.
Debaser is hosted and produced by Will Taylor and Jared Rusk. Want to email the show? Send it to podcast@debaserpod.com. Want to help us out? Please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice, especially Apple Podcast. If you write a 5-star review of Debaser on Apple Podcast, I may read your review in a future episode. Thank you for listening, and take care out there.